All right, I'd like to talk today about some memory of Dr. Suzuki and us, and some I have to tell about my, life too. The, of course, because of I've been Suzuki since I think 9 years old, and then how long? I'm not going to say. Just, just you can guess. Then we had revised Suzuki books now. We are using, for the violins, and I've been using, the old books over half century. So then have to change. It was some are really minor changes, but some are completely opposite. Bowings and fingerings, and bowings fingering was not really, big attack, but like changes, notes, and because of a ear training, I had a, good ear training over half century. So then I tell my student, you are lucky because this is the first, first information you are going to get about tone. But I had already all the information and I have to change. How can you change, the over 50 years I've been playing, and then, so then students, okay, so it's easy for you and not easy for me. Okay. First I met Dr. Suzuki was, when I was about 8.5 years old. And that time was, after the Second World War, of course. And then we didn't have, almost anything. And food was, each meal is, am I eating or am I just drinking? So mostly, the really soup-like. I could count, the rice, each rice, in one bowl. So that time, So a little after, we could maybe a little bit, more food-like food we could eat. Then according to my mother, her husband, my father, went to Second World War, have to go. He was the medical doctor, but he have to go for the war. And he told my mother, from now on, the world is going to be really, really tough for the children. So please, if you can find any, any things, any education that we can give to my daughter. So especially music. He was not really musical, person. But so that my mother took that word, and then we were living in my grandparents' house in the countryside, huge house. And then he heard that Dr. Suzuki that is teaching in Matsumoto, which is also countryside. But from my living town, the Hotaka, it took about 35 minutes by train. So then she took me to the Matsumoto. And first we went to that Matsumoto, Dr. Suzuki's teaching room. I saw already like 5, 6 years old, about 5 of them playing Vivaldi A minor, which is a book 4. Tan, 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 tan. This was the first time I saw violin and performing violin, and Dr. Suzuki and children plays violin. So, and of course, you know, we didn't have any TVs and anything. So then Dr. Suzuki, I don't know how my mother talked to him, but he introduced us about one of teacher. That time, all teachers, Suzuki teachers, are just not trained by Dr. Suzuki. Dr. Suzuki's speech, and someone got, oh, this is wonderful. Then Dr. Suzuki, I want to go with you, want to, you know, do. So then he said, welcome, welcome, everybody. So he had several teachers. And of course, they didn't know too much about Suzuki method or Suzuki way, or even the children's psychology, they didn't know. So someone was teaching like, you know, college students. Then all suddenly they have to teach, you know, the small children. So I understand my first teacher. Now it's easier. So, but that time, when I first started violin, he couldn't get right size. So then he gave me that, okay, this is one side I can give you. So like taka, taka, ta, ta. Then I don't know, several months or how many years. I don't think, you know, too long, but maybe less than 1 year. But still, I was playing like this. Now you know what that means. So I got all kind of bad habit, but I couldn't do anything. So we said, then he got right size violin, and he gave to me, okay, this is your violin. The size was, I think, 1/4, but I started was, you know, 3/4 or full size, whatever. Yeah. So, of course, that time teacher didn't, probably he knew it's not so helpful, but he didn't say, no, we have to wait until, you know, right size violin comes. But he started anyway. So right size came from first lesson and on, always negative. Don't do that, don't do this, and have to be done this way. So first lesson, I thought, I don't know I like violin or not. Then on and on. And he was quite temper teacher. He was tall, and he had a bow, you know. And so then quite often happened on his class that if child didn't understand, and then ball goes on hit on the, you know, music stand. That music stand, the music scatter. So, then we talk to each other. You know, I saw steam comes up from here. So, but anyway, that gave me that really, you know, going inside, not go to the teacher. I didn't really, you know, so. But and at that time, we didn't have recording. And some recording we had, like a Vivaldi G minor concerto, but recording was a real record. And you know, 78, and And then that one is not from Suzuki. The professional people played. And of course, after World War, we didn't have, fortunately, our family had some record player that was like crank, 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 then put the, so some place and da, so you can't see, maybe only you can see in the museum also right now. And so then youth music was just about this color. One book, a little bigger book, then from Twinkle to, Humoresque was the last piece, which is right now book 3, Humoresque. So then open, and of course, printing is not like us these days. So it's like someone handmade and then printed this way. Then put it back. Books made back, books. So and only one way I learned music. Right now, it's 3 years old children can sing from book 1 all the way through because of record. I mean a CD, they're listening. But we didn't have that one. So how I could, learn, of course, I didn't read music, and I couldn't read the music, and I couldn't see any way. So what I have to stay there and listening other students' lesson, or go to group lesson and listen to then memorize those, So now, I tell my students, you have everything. So pay and you can buy everything, recording and music. And after this, after the Humoresque, what we did was, handwriting. And teacher gave us, that, okay, this is a book, sites, concerto, you are going to learn, okay? So please copy from this one. So then, of course, we didn't have copy machine and anything, so by handwriting. Vivaldi, A minor, concerto, the handwriting, and back double. So then have to return to the, own teacher. So that much different already. So, okay, and so anyway, somehow I had my family's support and my relatives copying and writing, and my not grandmother, but my aunt, and who helped me a lot. So then lesson was my teacher's private lesson, and group lesson was Dr. Suzuki. Dr. Suzuki had a group lesson, and we could all join. So it was fun. It was fun. But then after okay, maybe I have to skip some ages. Then anyway, I graduated from book 7, back A minor. At that time, Dr. Suzuki had a graduation system started. And back A minor was a middle class stage. So I graduated, and then at that time already, several 100 students got together and performed. So, and I still have a Mozart book 10 at the graduation, and that was wheel to wheel, huge, you know, the recording. And we have to do whole, you know, concerto, the D major Mozart violin concerto. So then have to send to Dr. Suzuki. And Dr. Suzuki, at that time, Dr. Suzuki had more time. Then he, after the performance, he had a comment, you know, we got his comment that he said, thank you, I enjoyed it, you know, performing, and please appreciate your mother and so and so. And, but he said, not on my tape, but lately I found it, that he said, however, your holding body is too, don't you think it's too low? Or put your thumb a little lower and without looking any pictures. And, or something, you know, the bow have to be more straighter. Many things he could tell by listening. So we thought, oh, is he a magician? And also he was, lately he was talking to the teachers and about, I could tell, at the summer school, or summer school is usually we got together about 600, 700 children and goes up on the stage, the college, you know, they rent out the college. The stage was huge, and all children line up on the stage. And he said, I could tell whose student is from what teacher, which teacher, by posture. He could tell. So then we got scared. Anyway, so, right. Okay, then I graduated, and after that, I decided I maybe want to be Suzuki teacher. So then I knocked the door, and then he said, welcome, and then our training started. That we call the kenkyusei. Kenkyusei is a teacher trainees group. So I had a six people in my group, and so all of them, maybe about three people I already lost. They went to astral world already, but it was fun, and those people came from all over, and then Dr. Suzuki's lesson with local teachers, the group lesson was every Friday. Friday was all day long, you know, that we took train early morning, and then Dr. Suzuki's, you know, with Dr. Suzuki group lessons and private lessons, and also ensemble together, and also we had a business, you know, the meeting, and sometimes, you know, he gave us that, I found the one, you know, good way to teach this kind of student is this way, that way. So it's kind of, you know, fun time, and eating always, you know, lunch together. So, okay, then he was really quite strict at that time. mostly, most of, you know, almost everybody were Japanese, you know, in Japan, mostly. Then lately, I don't know what age, what time, but foreign teachers start coming to observe. And then he start changing his approaching way. But before that, all the Japanese people, and he was so strict, so strict. And he said, you know, teachers has so much, you know, responsibility because you're passing good habit or bad habit, everything go into the, you know, next generation. So that's why he said Suzuki teacher have to be almost, you know, he didn't say perfect, but we took that way. Because some are really crying, and the teachers, you know, teachers and teacher trainees, some are really up and down, up and down. So I know that my friend escaped into the mountain and the skiing, you know, so then a month later she came back, and so I did also. I escaped from him because I had a, you know, I had an excuse at that time. Here, it's a once in a while he had a teachers, you know, class. That time, from all over Japan, teachers came and then had a, you know, same kind of training. And then first, somehow, Dr. Suzuki called me, please come over. At that time, my name was not Hirata, Yamaguchi. My maiden name was Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi-san, please come over here. Okay. Then already my legs are, you know, shaking. I know what's going on, you know. So then he said, okay, I'm going to demonstrate how to fix this kind of problems. Or how, or sometimes he used that, how can we approach to this program, children? It's me. So, I'm a shy person, really. So, but then he said, pointed me already, you know, whole thing was an earthquake. Like. Then he said, okay, you play, you know. So then, but my natural vibrato is over there. Ball goes and ooh. Then vibrato, and so you play this piece. Okay. I told myself, and no, this is okay. This is all right. I can do it. I can do it. Calm down, calm down. But then, so what? So, and then I put the fingers. As soon as I put the fingers down, really quick as possible, the vibrato comes. That's it, not coming from him, not my order. Just so nervous, right? And then Dr. Suzuki was laughing, and so, you don't have to do that, and please calm down. And yes, sir, I will do it if I can do it. So that kind of situation I had, you know, a few months. Then I'm warning out. So then I told my one of teachers trainees, and then Mr. Yamashita, I don't think I can stand it. I have to do something, otherwise myself is going to be break. So he said, okay, all right, I understand. And he himself also had a difficult time, very difficult time with Dr. Suzuki. So he understands me. So we are friends. So then, fortunately, my one of friend introduced me to the, I love the mountain. So when walking on the mountain, I just feel natural. And I was high school, I was captain of the climbing, that girls school. So like that way. So then he said, okay, you go up on the mountain. Okay, I will tell Dr. Suzuki, I will tell later, so don't worry. So, okay, thank you very much. And I escaped. And which is Mount Yari is the third highest from, the highest, third one in Japan. So it's really high. And then it's a big cabin was there. And about 500, 600 people can, sleep. So then I had such wonderful time. And it was heaven. Then we got a really, good teamwork. And then we joking and so. Anyway, one day, some, reception people called me. Yes, you got the telephone. We had a wireless telephone. So, telephone call you. And so I said, telephone? Oh, okay. And then I took. And Mr. Yamashita, who told me, go. I talked to Dr. Suzuki, so don't worry. So Mr. Yamashita said, hello, Miss Yamaguchi? He never called me Miss Yamaguchi. Yeah. He always called me the Yama-chan. It's a nickname, Yama-chan. So the Miss Yamaguchi, this is Yamashita. I thought funny, so formal, talking. Never had that conversation before. Then, hi, Yamashita Sensei. It's beautiful and wonderful time I'm having. I forgot about Bali, everything. So, would you like to come up? I really welcome to come up here. So, and he said, okay, Dr. Suzuki wants to talk to you. Then, no more fun. Huh? Dr. Suzuki? Huh? Okay, anyway, I couldn't escape from that. So I said, okay. Then Dr. Suzuki said, hello. And I in Japanese, and so of course, hello. And I said, hello, Dr. Suzuki. And then he told me, he talked to me something, and I couldn't understand. So then I had to say something, so I make up. Dr. Suzuki, I'm so sorry, but I couldn't catch you. So could you please, do you mind to repeat again? So I have to put everything up, what I can think, the respectful word. Ne? Yeah. So then he said same thing, but I still didn't understand what he said. He grown up, Nagoya. Nagoya has a quite strong prefecture. Accent. Yeah, and so then, second time, third time, I asked him again, but still. And the fourth time, I thought, if I ask once more, it's not going to be polite. I have to say something. So what should I say? What should I say? Okay, then I told him, that's right. And He said, again, same thing. So this is fifth time. But I still didn't understand. That's right. He said, that sounds funny. So, okay. Then anyway, he said, okay, other trainees or teachers want to talk to you, so goodbye. And so I understood that. Then each one, everybody talked. After 1 month later, I came down, and then Kenkyusei, the teachers, trainees, got together, and the first lesson, everybody said to me, ha 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 ha, that time, the funny conversation, most funny conversation. Everybody laughing. So I said, oh yeah, by the way, what did he say? They said, the Dr. Suzuki said, when are you coming down? And so you said, that's right. What are you coming down? And that's right. It sounds funny, that's what it is. Anyway, first lesson with Dr. Suzuki, of course, the whole month without, touching violin. Not only that, my mind was completely out from violin, right? Then I came back, and so first I opened the violin and, no, this way, yeah, this way. Then I start a little bit, but then the lesson day came soon, so then I went to, and Dr. Suzuki didn't say anything about, my tone. And he was really strict about tone, Suzuki, tone, always. So then second week, somehow I feel like I still feeling that the Dr. Suzuki was trying to be very, humble. So humbleness. How can I scoop her? So that's what he was thinking. So save her. Ne? So then he said, I don't think I made a wonderful tone, but he said, that tone, this tone, Miss Yamaguchi, this tone was just the right tone. Dr. Suzuki wanted to hear this tone. You improved. Wow. First time I heard good words, positive words for me. So I thought, are you sure? But, oh, thank you so much. But that was, that hit my, door. It's knock my door to close it, to Dr. Suzuki. Now start opening to Dr. Suzuki. First time. Yes, until that was really, I afraid him, and I thought, maybe. So anyway, since that, I wanted to, learn more about Suzuki method, and I really decided to go Suzuki teacher. And of course, the first my teacher, Mr. I don't say Mr. O. So I told you that the hit, ball, and music scatter on the floor. That steam, that teacher was really scared me. But then I decided if I become teacher, I'm never going to be like that. No, that is really harmful. So that helped right now. Yeah, that helped to be Suzuki teacher. And Dr. Suzuki, then going back to Dr. Suzuki's work, and then since that, I went to Dr. Suzuki's teaching room almost all day, every day, every day. As long as Dr. Suzuki was in town, is in town, and I went to and sneak into the teaching room, and I really listened, really listened. And Dr. Suzuki told me, like for instance, told me about my second finger was too low. So, but to me, it's okay to me because I've been teaching that way in my years, teaching that way long time. Then my previous teacher never said anything, my second finger is too low. So then every lesson he said, he pointed me that. So then I thought, Dr. Suzuki's ear is funny. But then, but he is a teacher, I'm a student position, so I can't change him. I have to change myself. Okay, that's why, I sneak into the Dr. Suzuki's teaching room. And then pretty soon I found, my game. Dr. Suzuki would say that some other student, Dr. Suzuki was teaching, and as soon as I hear some intonation, he's going to say too high. Then he said too high, okay, I got 1 point. So like that, that trained it myself. So many times, I learned from so many things I learned from by observing, not from my lesson, direct lesson, but more I learned from other people's lesson. So, and I told you that Dr. Suzuki was so strict that one of, example, we had a Friday, I told you Friday was, Dr. Suzuki's meeting. So then we had, afternoon was a, private lesson. So each teacher could have lesson with him. And one of, this is not only him, but he was taking, Mr. K was taking lesson. So then Dr. Suzuki said, please, this is a Suzuki tone. This is a Suzuki Sensei's tone. Please listen. So then student, teacher, yes, because he is so close, then he goes like, and so, did you hear? Did you hear? This one, this one. So we're sitting, over there, but so that two people moving, back up, and so then coming back to, so that about 30, 40-minute lessons coming back. So this is a tone. This is a tone. So always he was trying to, that person to understand. So I thought, he was really, to myself was taking lesson like that way, then I feel he didn't like me and he kind of hate my second finger. But no, he wanted to help. He cannot stand it if it's not right. Then this person is going to be teacher of your future. So teacher have to be really, understand. Then he can guide to the next generation, right? So very, very strong that way. So all of us had that kind of experience. And then people came from foreigner came and to start taking lessons from him and training. So then he started a little bit meltdown. The other day we had talking with American teachers who knows about Dr. Suzuki's lessons, and then someone told me, I always envy you, us Japanese, teachers, because he had a different, attitude to the Japanese people. So then, American people and more smiles and more easygoing, but for the Japanese, so and he's, he said, well, have you read Dr. Suzuki's Nurtured by Love? Okay, so the first stage of my time, we had not living together with a teacher, but we went to Dr. Suzuki's house and weeding and cleaning, and we served so much. But that was a part of learning, which Mrs. Suzuki was Germany. So then she always needed to help. So we went to there and decorate Christmas trees, and so the cleaning house, cleaning windows, and so we have done so much the fun. And so, okay, one of, not my age, but about 10 years later, the teacher trainees, this is that story. And we had already Dr. Suzuki's graduation system, listening graduation tape. So coming from all over from Japan. Then first he received about couple hundred, but pretty soon over 1,000, few thousand tapes came from. Not only one, first one was a book 3, back bure, la la ram, paritan, you have to tape it and send it to Dr. Suzuki. And the next is book 5, and next is book 7, Vivaldi, Bach A minor, and next is Mozart. So then pretty soon, not only violin and cello and flute, and so they came to Dr. Suzuki. And Dr. Suzuki had to listen 1,000 tapes. Of course, those time already he doesn't have time to say comment in the tape. So I have still treasure. So, but anyway, Dr. Suzuki thought, oh, maybe this is a good chance that the local teachers listen this, then they can learn from listening these tapes. So then he gave us couple boxes, and so, okay, this is, the teachers, you're going to, Nagano Prefecture teachers, so listen. Yes, sir. And we went to, room, and then we start learning, we start listening. Ta-ta-tan, ta-di-ram, tin, ta-rin, ta-ti-tin. Or first one, we listened everything, but second one, ti-di-dan, ta-di-rin. And hours later, still, ti-di-dan, ta-di-rin. Or sometimes, ta-ti-da-ti-da. Then someone suggested, maybe we can listen starting and maybe middle and maybe end. Then we will understand, right? And so, yeah, good idea. And so that time, there's so many people in Japan, they smoke. So then then I'm sorry, I needed to smoke and go out and smoke outside. And someone said, I'm sorry, I have to go. Okay. So then anyway, I think 2 boxes or so, we finished. We thought we finished. So then we returned to Dr. Suzuki. But one of teacher reported that attitude to Dr. Suzuki. Wow, he said he was never, scored that way. So he said, don't you understand how much that this child spend time, spend effort, and to make this tape. To them, this is really, really important. But you guys just listen that way, I don't understand. So you don't understand your this child's parents, how much they, So on and on. And so he got so mad. And he said, okay, I'm not going to ask anyone to listen anymore. I do all myself. And so, you can see that he's, even at 3 years old, he respects as a human, the people, so important. So he was taking care that way. But all teachers were, haven't get used to that, but they also, okay, it's kind of inconvenient because on and on and on. So they got tired, and so. Fortunately, I was not really, I was in that group, but I was still, young and other people. So then since that, he never asked the other people to listen, help. They, to the very end of the, his, from there, about 20 years later or so, we made a committee, and then, some committee people listened. So that was the one that we can, talk, I can explain about Dr. Suzuki facing to student, I mean the children's work. And also, one day, the teachers trainees, young teachers trainees, had a stomachache, severe stomachache, and midnight, all night. Then her friend who lives together in the apartment, and she said, okay, wait until 4 o'clock. Dr. Suzuki, we know that Dr. Suzuki is getting up around 4 or 4:30. So I would take you to the Dr. Suzuki. Dr. Suzuki can help you. Then 4 o'clock, she put the friend back of a bicycle, and they went to Dr. Suzuki, and already lights were on. So then knock, and Dr. Suzuki came out with suits and tie, and I heard there's kind of, wow. So because they kind of expected to see his pajamas or something. But then he said, okay, welcome, and what's happened? So then they explained it, and so, okay, I will give you treatment, and so. Then later, they were talking, they were thinking about why he came out with suits and ties. And he said, oh, that's good. You could come earlier, 30 minutes or earlier, because I was listening, recording the children's graduation tape. So then they realized Dr. Suzuki couldn't wear pajamas or nightgown to listen children's work. So then we thought, like, goosebump. We thought, this is a Dr. Suzuki. So to him, any student, any child, any student, it's his treasure to him. So he needed to be formal. He was ready. So then he listened. So usually, I don't want to tell this kind of story because of, such a different from Suzuki teacher and Dr. Suzuki. But that was, a true story. And at the, class, I ask the students, what is the number of Dr. Suzuki's favorite number? And so, do you know what number? Someone knows, yeah. Okay, Dr. Suzuki's favorite number is 10,000 times. So then he asked, okay, I found that something new, and this is really work. This is important. So let's do this, and then during teachers' training. Okay, let's do this 10,000 times. Okay? And so, yes, sir. We go back to hometown and teach. Then a week later, we came back, but Dr. Suzuki didn't mention, and pretty soon we forgot about 10,000 times. But then the second week come back, or sometimes third week come back. And then Dr. Suzuki said, oh, by the way, yes, who did it this, 10,000 times? Who did it? And so teachers look at each other. Did you? How about you? So it's all, everybody fell down. But Dr. Suzuki said, I did it. I did it. So that's what, Dr. Suzuki, growing up, always growing up and up and up, improving up and up. So Dr. Suzuki was really effort person. So maybe from nurtured by that, so you learn that Dr. Suzuki started violin, playing violin at 17 years old. So then when he went to Germany and came back, and he had a, Suzuki quartet, and he performed concertos, and how can we do? 17 years old, from how to hold a bow, how to hold one. But that was him. He said he practiced 5 hours a day, every single day, and then after the practice, he went to pool game. Pool game, did you say? So that's why he is so good about. This is the last story. One day we went to Dr. Suzuki's. Dr. Suzuki was not there, so we decided, okay, making paper ball, and then trash can was there, and so ha 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 ha, it didn't hit them. So then everybody tried. Yeah, no, okay. So then Dr. Suzuki came up, and he was smiling and watching, and he said, "Give me, and I will good about this." Stop. Then oh, he was always that way. So see, 5 hours practice. Anyway, this is just a part of Dr. Suzuki. I'm so sorry about my English, and so it's funny. Thank you very much.